Imagine only having one night to make an entire brand from scratch. It's about 8 p.m., so let's see what we can do. Whoa. Is this way too bright? I'm not talking some just little logo design, okay? We're not doing that. We're doing the whole shebang. Logo, website, basically building a whole brand from scratch tonight before the morning. Let's see if it's possible. Home sweet home. So the first thing we're going to need is a logo. The company that we're going to make this logo for is called Charlotte Drone. They basically fly drones, take pictures of photos, and so our logo is going to be for a company that uses these. Pretty simple stuff. So the first thing I did was kind of go on Google and just see drone logos. I mean, let's see the bare bones stuff. This is what we're looking at, and this is bad. B-A-D, bad. They all have the physical drone just like sitting in the logo. It's a little cheesy. Look at this one. Like, what is that? Holy crap. Not a fan at all. Then I kind of went and picked out some of my own stuff. First thing I did was I found this color palette. I think this color palette's really nice. I'm gonna use this. It's kind of got a couple of sky blues in there. Overall, it's just a very modern, like, tech company color palette, which I think fits nicely with the drone stuff. I found this logo, this earn cash. Obviously, this isn't for drones, but again, I like the kind of like app feel. It's like modern, it's techy, it's a startup. I kind of like the abstract layers in the icon itself. I even like the lowercase, and I like the font a lot. I found this Patient logo. I really like the 3D stuff that they're doing over here on the side, but even just this 2D logo, I like the abstract icon, I like the tech color palette, and I like the font. Very simple. I think this fits for a drone company. So that's sort of my inspiration. Let's see if we can do some sketches and see if we can come up with something that no one's ever seen before. Time check. It's 9 o'clock. Let's get going. Is this just glue? This is just glue. What does a drone make you think of? Air, flight, photos, movement, mechanical, and bird. What do those icons look like? Air kind of usually looks like this. You see that and you think of air. Flight tends to be going upward. We can symbolize that with an arrow. For photos, you typically, on the broadest, most vague scale, think of a circle. That's kind of a camera lens. For movement, especially in logo design, you're typically kind of just shifting things. For the word mechanical, you might think of it like a gear. And for a bird, you might think more of kind of like a wing. Now another one I'm going to throw on there is a plane. And now we kind of got our hieroglyphics for a drone logo. I'm going to take this as inspiration for what could be and kind of come up with a couple of random sketches, see what I like. Let's take this and let's throw it into Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so now we got our logo into Adobe Illustrator. This looks like a bunch of mess, but it's not. So really, we narrowed it down to about 4 potential logo concepts. I'm gonna go ahead and translate all 4 of these concepts to vector files, and we can pick the best one. The key with the pen tool in general is to use as little clicks as possible. And I'm gonna change the cap to a round cap. That's just going in here right at the edge. And I'm gonna hit the width tool over here. Grab our point and adjust the width. I kinda like that. Number 2. And that's how it's looking on its own. Now let's do our little bird wing. Kind of just looks like a pair of bananas, I'm gonna be honest with you. Last but certainly not least is our little pilot wing one. I've kind of fallen more in love with this circle now. Okay, so now we can throw the sketches to the side. Now we got 4 unique logo concepts right here. I am intentionally putting these in black and white. You're not always going to use color for a logo. Sometimes it's only going to be in black or only in white. So even though the bird might be savable with a cool gradient, that's not going to work. I'm going to just delete that. I just don't think the plain wing's going to do it. It's just too much like an airline. Which leaves us with this cool little squiggle and this little vertical squiggle. The reason why I want to go with this vertical squiggle over this one is simply because it's a bit more unique. There's a little bit more going on with it, whereas this is probably like $100 million business, and it doesn't have that much meaning to it. Let's go with this cool little squiggle. It's got a little bit of a hand-drawn feel, which I kind of appreciate. It's kind of got an airplane wing, and it's got movement and air and upward mobility. I think it's gonna look great as our cool little abstract logo, just like this earn cash thing. Okay, so I picked out this cool little font. It's called Filson, and I think it's gonna fit the bill for what we're looking for. Oh wow, this is soft. That might fit the bill better because those rounded corners really match the roundness of this logo. I just can't resist it. So let's bring in our cool color palette. It's good practice to take your text and duplicate it, put it off to the side, because what we're gonna do is create outlines. That way we can take these both and properly align them to the center. Now we have that black version here. That looks a little funky. I think what I would really like to see is a gradient. Now we're talking. That's kind of interesting. Okay, time is 10:33 p.m. This black and white version felt really strong to me, honestly. This is fun, it's playful, but as soon as I put it on this dark background and I saw the transparency in it, I was like, oh shoot, that does not really look good. It went from fun and playful to amateur very fast, and I'm not sure that's the vibe I wanted to go for. I tried to lean into it a little bit with this gradient, which I thought was cool, and then I also went with this 3D direction. I think this is really fun. I really like the 3D logos. I think they're coming back, but I'm not sure it's super practical. So I went kind of to the drawing board with this. This one on top was feeling a little bit like the bird almost. It kind of looks like a beak up here. There's kind of bird, plain wing, air symbol, like all those things kind of combined, which is good in theory, but then in practicality, I don't think it looked that good. I went with this, which looks a lot more like an airline. I don't know. I think that's kind of more professional in a way. And then I flipped it and I ended up landing on this. The other thing I really like about this logo is that it really curves around the sea. It ties it together very well. The hierarchy is super nice on this logo. It really feels like there's kind of 3 dimensions where the Charlotte drone is sitting behind and underneath our icon. I wanted to also just try the 3D stuff with this because I would really love to see 3D logos again. So I don't know, there's a 3D effect, but this logo here actually looks great. And I think this is our final. So this is really our final brand right here for Charlotte Drone. I think that looks great. It's 10:43, so let's take this back home and let's build a website using this logo. Okay, welcome back to the tech corner. Just kidding, this is my living room. But we're gonna pretend like this is a really cool graphic design studio for right now. I've got Wix pulled up. Not a sponsorship, but you gotta love Wix. I don't know, Wix is super simple, super easy to use. We're gonna start off by just picking a website template. I'm really liking this, the future of mobility is here. Again, I'm going for like this techie app sort of style. I like that this is a big video. We could replace this with a big drone shot video if we wanted. I like that this thing kind of moves. It kind of guides you down with the services. Edit this site. Let AI write your site content. What? Aerial, drone, photography, and videography. We're changing the way the world thinks about cars. Okay, I guess it doesn't do all of it. With Wix, you can come in here, change the site theme so it matches the exact color palette. We did it. So now our whole site is going to use that color theme, which is our exact color palette, which is awesome. So now we got our custom logo font, our custom logo, and we're incorporating all that into Wix before we even touch it at all. So that way, when we build out the whole website, everything's going to be using the right font in the right colors. It's going to make it super easy. Let's go ahead and change this script background to a video. Luckily, this video right here is actually a video of a project in Charlotte. So that works out perfectly. We're making good time, I feel like. Basically haven't done anything and we're already like killing it. Oh my god, I just woke up. I don't have any clue what time it is right now. The camera's dead and everything. This did not go as planned tonight. I think I'm just gonna call it, go to bed, wake up, and see what happens. New day. We're in the same outfit. Yeah, maybe. But we're at the table now, so that's something. I want to share with you kind of how far the website came. So you open up charlottedrone.com and this probably looks very different from what you just saw. We got the logo in the top right header. I added this drop shadow kind of coming down from the top because that white text would have bled into this sky, and it looks really sharp on this website. I'm really liking the way it looks, especially when you get into like the darker colors here and the blacks. We intentionally kind of went with this green and blue park. The lake pops up here and you got that blue there, you got the green of the trees and the lawn, and it matches that color scheme. I've also kind of went with the blue and green as kind of the color palette for the whole website. So this get a quote turns that blue into green, let's talk turns into green, even down to the little details of this like button that you can click on the job application. So it's kind of a fun little thing. Even the services turns into blue. When you start to scroll down, you go immediately into like sort of like this video reel to showcase some of the videos on the site, some of the work that they do. Then had this sort of 3-tab group pop up where you've got different services and it's a little bit more interactive and you can click on it, start playing a video. And this is a good strip that's just saying like, why choose us? It's pretty eye-catching with this cool video in the background. And then you've also got this get a quote button, which again just hits you with another call to action. So you keep scrolling and this cool little drone thing flies in. This is just another like quick strip with some facts that are kind of interesting to look at. People really like statistics. So you got like 6 years of experience, projects completed, even miles flown on the drone. I kind of thought that was a fun one. Then it separates with another just really cool looking drone shot. You've got some careers that just cycle through on the bottom here. Pretty simple. And then it lands in this footer with the get a quote form. So this is really where everything's trying to go. This is the ultimate call to action. Any person that enters the website, we're trying to funnel them straight to this form. Anywhere on the website, you can hit this get a quote button up at the top and you pull up that same form in a light box. All the way down at the bottom, you just got some basic information. Clicking the logo brings you right back to the top. Now it took a little bit longer, even with it being such a basic website, just because websites take a long time to make. But making this on Wix wasn't too bad. It was pretty easy. And as a one-pager website, it's really simple for both you and the client. This is exactly the website I like to create. Even this other button here that's just services, if you click it, it just brings you down to the middle of the page. Everything that you need is on one page, which I think is super helpful. It looks professional, it's not overcomplicated, and it's really easy to use. A really great trick I like to use with websites is just adding a couple of animations. So as you kind of scroll in, you'll see things are flying in. And by doing that, it makes it look a lot more professional and gives a lot better user experience. I'm going to open up Wix here and show you kind of what I did on the back end of this website to make it look good. So with Wix, you can hit this animate button right here, basically on anything. All these are a little cheesy, but what aren't is the float in one, which I like to use, or the fade looks really nice too. And the fly in is the same as the float in, but a little bit faster. Those three are pretty good looking. And when you float in something both on the left and the right, it makes for a really cool experience. Same thing with these lines. That's what's giving it the feel that you're kind of scrolling down the page, is you had an animation, put this glide in line effect, and just bring it from the bottom to the top. Now for the ultimate digital marketing experience, I brought this further than just graphic design. I also added a few more other things that are really going to help attract more clients. The first thing I did was Google My Business. Basically what what that is when you go on Google and you search up a business, in this case like drone photography near me, you can see a list of businesses right here. They're ordered in location to you and ratings. But in order to even get on the list, you got to sign up for it. So I signed up Charlotte Drone for Google My Business. It's actually really simple to do, and this is what it ended up looking like. So when setting this up, I really tried to think through SEO, which is search engine optimization. So I really sat down and thought about what keywords people might be searching for this company. So I didn't just title it Charlotte Drone, I added a little hyphen here and said commercial aerial services. This company is going for the market of commercial real estate or developers, very professional people. I changed the map so that it covers all of this land in Charlotte, all of the possible service areas, so that anyone that's looking in these areas will get pinged with Charlotte Drone. I added a few pictures from the site to make it look professional. The back end for Google My Business looks kind of like this. So you can go in here, you can pick your business category. I chose aerial photographer, commercial photographer, video production service. I went into ChatGPT, told them about the business, and it spit out this really cool description. You can also use the Google My Business Suggest description tool, and it'll make one for you pretty easy. And all of these words in the description are keywords. To take it a step further, I added some products. I added professional videography and aerial photography. These just help because they look better, they make your business profile look fuller and more professional. You can also create posts, which are kind of like stories. They pop up for a while and they go away after a certain amount of days. I made one here that just says spring is around the corner. And I even made a coupon code that people could use if they type it in on the request a quote form on the website. Now that I set up the Google My Business and I was officially on this list, I took it a step further and set up a Google Ads account. So what this does is you can run advertisements so you're always at the top of the list. With the company being so new, just launching a website, they're not going to have any reviews, so they're probably not going to be at the top of that list for anyone searching on Google. In the meantime, you can use Google Ads to get yourself at the top of the list. Right now, if I search drone photography, the sponsored ad that's at the top is this massage therapist. So obviously, there's a gap in the market there, and then Charlotte Drone can fit this spot. To do this, you go to Google Ads, you set your budget, how much you want to spend each day. It's set up so whenever someone clicks on the sponsored ad at the top of the listing, that's going to cost you a certain amount of money, but it only charges you when someone clicks on it. Now, I went as far as to set this up so that it tracks the conversions. So whenever somebody clicks on the request a quote form, that tracks in here too. So you can really see how the clients get from Google all the way to requesting a quote. Another thing I did was I set up an email signature. This was just something super easy to do that you can just pair along with a logo and a website and all this other stuff for a complete digital marketing package. So there you have it. That's the full brand from start to finish. Was I able to make Charlotte Drone's brand in one night? No. This took a lot longer than one night. Would not recommend trying to make a full brand in one night. But I think it came out great still, and it's still a super simple website, super simple logo, and it shows that sometimes less is more. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, or if you want to learn more, let me know in the comments below. I'm happy to talk more about it and get to know you a little bit. If you want to see some of my other graphic design videos, you can click on this playlist right here that I made custom just for you. And I'll see you next week in our next video.